fan and the watcher of a franchise that is criminally idle. I'm the fan and watcher of Spo and his antics. You shut your mouth, how can you say the hit will be in the play? And I've paid a lot and I want to see them compete, just like the Heat Nation does. I did my best here, guys. I did my best. The truth is, we're going to start with the penny stats. Penny stats, or stat pennies. I don't even remember what the name of the segment is. It's supposed to be penny stats. My name is Roy, and this is going to be my worthless half a penny part 45. How soon is now? When is it time to truly panic? And I think it's a great question. I'm wearing my Mickey Mouse shirt here today because this is what's happening. We watch the games. We think we have a chance, but it's all Mickey Mouse, man. It's all Mickey Mouse. We don't. Please do follow us on Facebook, Mahapanies, on Twitter, Mahapanies, on Instagram, Mahapanies1, on TikTok, Mahapanies8. We're going to have my prize picks, past picks, projections if you want. And also we're going to be posting a lot more extra content and highlights. We do have a couple more videos, which the link is going to be here in the description. One for our penny bricks of these past 5 games. You will not be surprised who the player is. And also our top 5 plays of these past 5 games, which are great plays, and we hope to see more of them. Thank you, Raf, for always editing and helping with the content. It's always good to have you on board, and thank you for everyone who's watching Hit Nation, folks, folkettes, and everything in between and beyond. If you're watching me, even if just to laugh at my face, I humbly thank you, because this is the only host in the history of the internet who has one thing going for him. I fully and wholeheartedly admit I have no idea what's going on. I just can't read and talk with my friends. So, for the penny stats, without any further ado, our leaders thus far are Tyler Hero, leader in points and assists, 24.9 points per game after yesterday's 40-point performance on, if not mistaken, 10 of 17 shooting, and 5.3 in assists. Bam, the leader in rebounds with 9.1 rebounds and 1.4 blocks per game. Highsmith, about 2 steals a game, 1.8. We are 20th in points per game, 110.2. We are 23rd in field goal percentage at 44.4. We are 17th at rebounds per game with 43. We are 18th in assists per game with an average of 25.4. We are 13th in opponents' points per game at 111.2. We have an average of 88.8 field goal attempts per game to 39.4 field goals made. 38.8% in 3-point shooting, ranked 6th. 74.4% in free throw shooting, ranked 28th. 23rd, 28th, 20th. It's a recurring team. 13 turnovers a game, we're ranked a little bit higher than that. 4.4 blocks per game, ranked at 23rd. 9.9 steals per game, ranked at 4th. Offensive rating, ranked at 15th. A little bit better. Still losing more, 114. Defensive rating, 115, ranked 13th. If you remember the first video that we recorded, we said that the average nowadays of points made per game is 115. And so if we are defending at a rating of 115, we're pretty much also kind of average. And you can see ranked 13th in the league, which is basically a little bit above the 30 team average. -1 net rating compared to plus 15s, 8s, 3s, 4s across the board. And my penny rants start now. I like ranting, but I don't like ranting on cue. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm just kind of looking at the script and looking at what I have to say for this particular episode because we are definitely in a hole. So as you can see, not only we didn't get better, we have not improved a lick from the first 5 games. In fact, whereas through the first 5 games we were 2-3, these past 5 games we were 1-4, and it's not like we won against Detroit. We won against the Timberwolves. I don't know if there is any kind of thing to get from there that is positive. I cannot understand Spo's loyalty to players over the club. Maybe I'm just tripping. Probably I'm just tripping. This is what I do. But I understand that Spo wants to give Jay Rich more and more minutes to kind of go back to what Jay Rich was. But he is not there at all. So I understand their history, but he should not be getting any minutes. It exposes the main issue that we had coming into the season, which is we are short on point guards. We're not short on wings. We're not short on bigs, even, considering how well Weir has been playing and Love coming back. But we are short on point guards. Rozier is doing so badly, so poorly, that he also deserves to be at least benched and used as a role player. Right? Although, without Butler, I saw a positive change in the starting lineup. Both games played without Jimmy had to have great performances by Tyler Hero. And Bam stepped up in one occasion a little bit, but not really. Defensively, yes. But even defensively is being overused, overexerted. Rozier is harming the offense and the defense, forcing Bam to defend, to cover for him all the time on the backcourt. And that's one of the issues of our last game, was actually having Rozier in the closing lineup. I understand Drew Smith is a two-way, and he has limited games that he can play. But where the heck is Burks? Where is Burks? Is Burks with the team? Is Burks injured? Is Burks just old? What's happening? What is this obsession with giving chance to players that do not deserve it for what they show on the court? I don't want to see Rozier play in the starting lineup again and get more than role player minutes. He can't. He just can't. If that was the acquisition of the off season, that's another guy we're gonna have to offload for picks, for God's sake. Why is this happening? Why has this front office fumbled so much after doing something so great by bringing Jimmy to the club? Right? And the same can be said in the middle of the game. Down the stretch of the last 2 games, we could have had Burks, but instead, again, Jay Rich comes back. Rozier close against the Pistons. Why? Why wouldn't he just, okay, Rozier, you're not doing well. I'm sorry, Burks is going to close. Drew Smith, for his defense, could have fit perfectly yesterday and should have closed. So why didn't he? Why didn't he close? Why doesn't Spo make the changes that are necessary in the middle of the game? Look, again, soccer background. We don't replace players because they're playing poorly, because we can't burn substitutions in soccer. We only have 3 of them. But it's unlimited substitutions in basketball. What the heck is wrong with Spo having Rozier play down the closing stretch of any game the way that he's been playing? The other problem, of course, is Bam. But we know Bam is capable of more. And so I have to blame Spo, again, for not creating a lineup and rotations that improve his efficiency. And the same can be said of Jimmy Butler, who is injured. He may come back Friday. He may come back when I'm 57. I don't know. But again, this is on Spo. There is very little here that is not on Spo. Some of Bam's bricks are definitely Bam's slump. It's a general slump. It's a slump on, it's an offensive slump that is not so easily understandable, except for the fact that when you have 3 players occupy the same space, which is physically impossible, by the way, where does Bam fit? Bam is doing lots of screens and handoffs. When he's finally aggressive and he actually gets to the rim, he gets those balls, his mid-ranger has disappeared, but we know he can come back. We saw that happening with slumps with Hero, with slumps with Duncan. Those shots came back. Bam is the same quality player, more so even than Duncan Robinson, I would say. It's going to come back. At some point, it's going to come back. But right now, the main reason why it's not coming back is because we have Rozier handling, if we can call that handling the ball, for extended periods of the game, which makes both Bam's and Butler's life offensively more difficult. If this is supposed to be, again, an all-out five, stretch five, whatever you want to call this kind of rotation that is supposed to be, and then Love came in, and last game against the Pistons did horribly. But a game against the Timberwolves showed that he can do well by stretching the floor and allowing us to get more into the paint. But if this rotation doesn't work to maximize Butler's and Bam's potential, then what are you doing, Spo? Nothing. Really, you had one genius call in the game against the Timberwolves. You're tweaking your lineups. The fact that you use Jay Rich at all. The fact that Rozier is still in the starting lineup for some reason that I can't really understand. Thankfully, you came to your senses and brought Highsmith back to the starting lineup. It's such a shame that Nikola got injured yesterday. Could have helped us a lot. I hope that this is a minor thing, that even though he has to wear a face mask, he can play next game. Or at least, after that, we have a back-to-back right now against the Pacers. But unfortunately, this is a lot of being mad at what I see as Spo being inefficient. Spo having, I guess, a very, very inefficient start of the season, but also like a mentality that I don't understand, because that stubbornness is Spo in its pure form. Let's move on to penny-worth theories that we did last time as well. So let's revisit a couple of the theories that we had from the last video. The theory number one, should there be a lineup change, period? And this is about mainly Rozier and Hero starting, and if one of them should come off the bench. The options for one of them are Rozier or Rozier. So I say yes, of course the lineup should change now. Terry should get out of the lineup. I don't even care if you play Nikola and Highsmith at the same time and no original point guard. Rozier should not be playing with the starters so long as his style requires him to handle the ball as much as he does, because his mishandling is... He has open shots, he takes an extra dribble. His shot profile is level all-star, but his makes are level under rookie. Truly, my son can do better on NBA 2K in all-star than he can. My son is 4 years old. 10 games are still not the sample size you're looking for, of course, but it's enough time to understand that the starting lineup, with the worst rating in the NBA, minus 42, when Butler played his last full game, is just not cutting it. Not cutting it. I suggest Highsmith. This came from Raph, right? I was reluctant at first, but I agree with him today. He's moved to the starting unit, as he is right now without Butler, but also when Butler comes back, and then get Rozier out of the game. Maybe in this case you can put Hakis instead of Nico. You can put someone there. The main point is you can put Love and Highsmith and no Rozier, basically, when Butler comes back. I prefer that. Of course, the matter with Jovic becomes a little bit more intriguing because he balled off the bench against the Timberwolves, and he was on track for balling off the bench against the Pistons before he got butt-headed and injured, which was a very interesting game with hopefully Tim Hardaway Jr. as well. Again, I haven't seen any news, but hopefully he's doing well. Yeah, I mean, again, with the one strike of genius from Spo, right? And the beautiful cut that Jovic did to the basket with a beautiful beautifully timed pass by Duncan Robinson. That was the greatest highlight. So definitely Jovic is someone that I think should come off the bench, right? Because he's working better off the bench right now. A lineup with Hero and Jovic in the backcourt with Butler, Highsmith, and Bam would not be horrible. A lineup with Hero and Highsmith, I guess, in the backcourt. That's a difficult one. With Butler, Love, and Bam would also not be a bad thing. Another option is actually to use Weir consistently to back up Bam, right? Which is what we've seen. So that's not it. We could also use Weir to start the game in place of Love sometimes. But he's a rookie, so that would be a little bit too much. to ask. Can Weir play with Bam? The answer now is not very clear cut. That's theory number 2. Can Weir play with Bam? Not a clear cut answer. Weir did well given the minutes, and if he did not do so well against Jokic, well, it's Jokic. Literally the best player in the NBA right now. He's definitely taken away for at least the past 3 games Ryan's minutes, and the big rookie can contribute now, perhaps even better, as a backup to Bam instead of playing with him, which I completely understand, especially when you have Love back. Still, wouldn't be indecent to think of it, but Weir is a true center, and I'm not sure that Spo is willing to put Bam at a 4. Even in a positionless basketball, it's pretty obvious that those positions do exist in one way or another. I would still love to see rotations when it is not Bam and Love playing together, but Bam and Weir, which is something we haven't seen much of, so we don't know how that can work. Love is a perfect replacement for the style we had in 2019-2020 with Myers Leonard as a PF. It's kind of a great comparison because Myers Leonard is perhaps 10% of the player the Love is today. I don't know if we're going to continue using Weir, but I sure hope so. Right? I sure hope so. And again, we did use Precious a lot until it wasn't working with the lineup. Weir gets you chase down blocks. Weir gets you successful alley-oops because of his elongated arms. That's for those theories. As for the top and bottom pennies, top, middle, and bottom pennies, the penny pyramid, if you will. To me, the lowest in this pyramid is Spo's inconsistency coaching style this season. Inconsistent coaching style this season. His inconsistency with the rotations. It's all fun and games and tweaking if you are at 50% at least at 0.500. We aren't. So this tweaking and playing is, 1-4 in the past 5 games when 4 out of 5 of those teams were true contenders, and the one that actually beat us is not supposed to be one, and they're doing better than us with 5-7. But that's basically it. To me, there's nothing lower than what Spo has been doing with this team this season. It's just really, I think, very comprehensible to some, very intriguing to people like me who like Spo and admire Spo a lot. The second that is right there in the pyramid is Josh Richardson, and he's playing, is just a remnant of what he used to be. He's just nothing in comparison to what he used to be. It definitely needs some. Go play with Bronny in the G League, man. That's what I say. To add to the bottom of the pyramid, a big one there is Rozier, because he cannot coexist with Butler and Bam. Apparently, I think there were like a couple of pick and rolls plays between him and Bam, and it takes away from both players' capacity to actually do what they do naturally, right? Something that we knew and that we can see it's not happening seamlessly is that the things are going to kind of fit to maximize also Rozier's contribution to the game. I think we have to really move away from that point. As I said before, Rozier is at a very, very bottom of the pyramid. As for Brian, he may have lost minutes with Weir being given some, but that is the natural order of things. Brian is off the bottom of the pyramid, at all. Because it's honestly not even something that I count against Brian, but in favor of Weir. So why would I penalize Brian with being at the bottom of my important pyramid? Finally, the front office's philosophy of dishonesty and lack of transparency when it comes to injuries is going to stay sedimented at the bottom of the pyramid throughout this and probably many seasons to come. So, Raf, remember that the front office's lack of transparency with the Heat fans when it comes to injuries. It's got to be there. It's the how do you call it? The floor of the pyramid. It's always going to be there. In the middle of the pyramid, in the middle of the draw, Bam has been upgraded from bottom to middle because he has improved defensively, and he has the excuse to have to cover too much ground when the backcourt is any combination of Hero, Duncan, Rozier, and Jay Rich. Although Hero is doing a lot better and Duncan is doing a lot better with Rozier and Jay Rich, man. Bam cannot beat 3 players. But he only scored in 5 games 20 or more points in 2 out of those games. His mid-range game is suffering a lot. His shooting percentage is bottom percentile in the league. Miami being around under 50% in layups this season and 30th by far place in the league. But Bam has potential, and Bam is definitely helping defensively and is over helping defensively, which hurts his offensive game. So I cannot put him in the bottom, even though he's bricking. We're still very unsure about where Burks fits here. It's supposed to be up top, actually. The only reason he's not is the fact that Spo seems to want Jay Rich acclimated at this early stage of the competition. It's not so early anymore. We have 72 games to go. It's not a tragedy. There's nothing here that signals that, oh, we are doomed. We are definitely not even making the playoffs. No, but we're getting close to a tendency. We're getting close to a trend that makes this possible, right? So again, Jay Rich, bye. Bye, Jay Rich. Sorry, Jay Rich. Good to have known you. Bye. I say, if you underperform twice, you should lose minutes. But Spo has more money than me, more clout than me, and his decision counts. Mine doesn't. Butler still figures in the middle of the pyramid. Not because he was injured again with an ankle sprain, which is very common for him, but because as efficient as he is in helping, even when not scoring, he's still unsure. He needs to figure out where his spots is. It's not finely tuned with the lineup, which again, I show where the problems are. It's not Butler. But Butler needs to be that more aggressive, right? He needs to know that when you have a ball with 4 seconds to go, you're not trying to find somebody to pass the ball to. You just shoot the ball. This is the Butler that we knew is not, for some reason, right now doing that. The fact he's a star of his caliber means that he can affect the game even when scoring under 20 points. It's not a problem, but I'm not sure Butler can both play and be as unserious and uncommitted as he has been many times through 7 games and a quarter and whatever the future may hold for him. You know, he needs to bring some level of seriousness way before All-Star, way before we're playing catch-up, which we already are in 2 games under 500. The top of the pyramid shines with the owner of the team, Tyler Hero. Others can share the top, but way below him. He's our top scorer, the most efficient player in the team, increased basketball IQ, physicality to take contacts over the season. He's putting more numbers or better numbers than Devin Booker. Unfair, but fun comparison. And Hero needs help is not something that I had on my bingo chart for 2024-25, guys. No, but this is what I need to say. Please give Hero some help. He's young. He deserves a championship. That's, I guess, the advantage. But I don't want to hear anyone saying his trade value went up, trade him. Shut up. This guy's playing like our franchise player. And then we have Nikola Jovic. Not great defensively, but not ungreat. Very effective. Jaime Jaquez Jr. always helping the team in multiple ways. And Haywood Highsmith just increasing that that fast break points opportunities. Duncan Robinson, not yet at full Duncan force, is also getting powered up by the game. So those are the top of the pyramid. As for penny spoing, I'm just going to say it again. Why so much tweaking? It's not a real question. I'm just being philosophical. I know. Maybe the untrained eye cannot see Spo's mentality and trying to find things and stuff to see, to give whatever fruits that he's expecting to harvest. But it's pretty tiresome to see Spo persisting in using the combinations that have been ineffective. You do it once or twice. You don't repeat that. He's improved in that, right? Playing where? Using Highsmith. Putting Jovic to the bench. Using a lineup with Love. But it still is a MO. His stubbornness with Jay Rich, his stubbornness with Rozier are the demise of the team. Spo's play calling has ups and downs, but has had more downs than up this season. His use of certain players is what exactly puts him in the, yeah, he's stubborn. I know he's 17 years in, like I said yesterday, admitting his responsibility in the last play against the Pistons, but he's shaken off. There's something wrong with Spo. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something wrong with Spo. I don't know if it's personal. I think that he's contingent with what his situation is with the team right now. This is still Spo. He'll be Spoing. But at least we can see some good tendencies come out of that. I really want to see the things that I want to see, So for Spo to prove me wrong, Rozier has to start balling consistently and fitting seamlessly with Bam and whenever Butler comes back. Otherwise, if it persists with Rozier, Spo is going to stay at the bottom of the pyramid. As for my penny clairvoyance, what's going to happen next games? The Heat face the Pacers away on a back-to-back, and then they come back home to play the 76ers. Mavericks, and then the Bucks to complete the next set of 5 before our next episode is recorded. My prediction is that we will do as well as we did during this last stretch. So I don't want to say 1-4. I don't. I want to say 3-2. But I don't believe in 3-2. I believe in 2-3. And this is unless Spo's, it has nothing to do with Butler coming back. Unless Spo figures it out. So whereas this could have been a topic of hero, just as I wanted it and everybody wanted it to be, due to the loss yesterday against the Pistons. Unfortunately, Hero is not getting an MIP, MVP. Obviously, MVP is not in conversation, but MIP or All-Star conversation as long as the Heat keeps playing this badly. So hopefully, my prediction this time, not 3-3-6. I only have 5 fingers in one hand. My prediction of 3-2 stands. But if I have to be honest with myself, I can see us going 1-4, 0-5 just as easily as long as Spo continues doing what he's doing. But that's it for me. That is my the end of this Worthless Half a Penny. We'll do another one after the next 5 games when we are at game 15. So pretty close to that sample size, that 20-game sample size that pretty much predicts how the rest of the season is going to be, I guess, statistically speaking. So for now, stay safe, stay dry, and stay as happy as possible in this very complicated world of ours. And always, let's go Heat!